Okay, it is official. The 2022 pest management battle is on. I was so naive to think that the pests might not be bad this year. So wrong. Oh my gosh. Especially after having dealt with insects almost my entire life. I don't know, like, so optimistic for some strange reason. But they are here in force, especially the striped cucumber beetle. So I've heard getting like yellow traps or yellow buckets or yellow something, but these plants are not going to be able to survive this infestation. I don't think. It's really bad. Yeah, it's really bad. So that is a poopy start to the gardening day. There's hundreds of these. I would even say, like, I would hazard to say thousands. And you can hand squish all day long. But these plants are done for pretty much. Oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming. I'm gonna put down some diatomaceous earth in hopes that that will help. I'm just gonna dust everything and see what happens. To treat for cucumber beetle, what I do, or any insect that's kind of hard-bodied, is I put diatomaceous earth in a nylon and I dust it. And I'm gonna super dust this because these plants are under severe attack. I'll have to do my cucumbers and the melons as well. So it's gonna be Dustfest 2022 right here. And the thing with diatomaceous earth is that it has to be reapplied after every rain. So it is a labor-intensive process. The other thing with these beetles is that they feed underneath the leaf. So there's a good chance that this won't even work, unfortunately. Not even on my sunflowers. Good morning. Wanted to bring you along for a garden update. I'm not doing a garden tour, but this is the continuation or the ongoing saga of my pest and not so much weed, but definitely pest management. This year we are struggling with so many pests, and because we garden organically, it is a challenge. And the biggest challenge right now would be the striped cucumber beetle, as it was last year, and we knew that it would be a problem this year again, but maybe just not this bad. So the saddest thing to report today is that both of Brian's pumpkins are gone because of the striped cucumber beetle. They just got demolished, annihilated literally overnight. He got a split vine on one and that was that. So that's really sad. It sucks because he really enjoys it. So unfortunately, Pumpy is out for this year, but I've used the space to plant all of my overflow vegetables, and I'm not watering them or anything. It's just like to each his own out there. So good luck to all of you in the downstairs garden. But in my upstairs garden, I am still battling with the striped cucumber beetle on all of my squash, cucumbers, and melons. And it is a daily event. What we did was put down diatomaceous earth and row covers, and every night we come home and we take the row covers off and we hand squish. We put more diatomaceous earth on, which is only good until it rains, so you have to apply it often, but it is effective in most cases. But the problem is the beetles, their life cycle takes place kind of in the soil, so you will always have insects kind of coming up out of the soil. And so although we've knocked down the population or kept it at a manageable level, my plants are still looking pretty sad and they really haven't taken off. So yeah, I don't know what we're gonna get for cucumbers this year. We still have a ton of pickles left, but it is unfortunate because you spend a lot of time, growing and starting the seeds and, working to get them to grow, and it's just really frustrating. So I've got some DE on these now. I'm just leaving the row cover off for a while, and then I'm going to mulch a little bit so that the soil can stay wet around the plants. At this point, I don't think it's really going to impact the life cycle of those striped cucumber beetles anyways, so I'm going to mulch it, throw the row cover back on. But I do want to take you down here. So the kind of brassica bed that's got some kohlrabi, I've got some lettuce in there, which is starting to starting to bolt, so I'll pull that out. But I have some cabbages and kale, and they are getting munched on by snails, slugs, who knows what. So we've been eating some of it. Some of it's been going to the rabbits. There will still be a lot of salvageable food. It's just frustrating when you have this many pests every day. It's like something new. I tried to grow loofah again this year, and they are also impacted, as you can see, by the striped cucumber beetle. So they're not doing too bad, but they like the heat as well. So they haven't really grown a ton. We also have grasshoppers and crickets that are eating all of my lettuce and beet starts, so that's a pain in the butt. But here are my rows of mostly squash. So I've got butternut squash and zucchini in here, and I overseeded. Obviously, I always overseed the hills, and I've actually reseeded once, and I see that one of my sprouts is already being decimated. But let me just show you the state of affairs here. So see all those little dudes? Even with row covers and diatomaceous earth, it's an ongoing battle. So I'm going to pull this back and try and hand squish that. But right now I'm not culling any of these plants, because if I do, then I've got like one plant for them to eat instead of 5. So not really sure what to do. If anybody has any advice out there, and please don't say pesticides because I'm not doing it, let me know. And the other part is I planted sunflowers in between the mounds. And so I need to, these beetles also feed on the sunflowers. So it's like, and I don't want to cut the sunflowers because they're so pretty, and they might be all I have left at the end of the summer. So I'm going to take these row covers off and put down some more DE, leave the row covers off for a while, let the plants get some full sun, and then cover them back up and hope for the best. I might just take them off and look, take a gamble and gamble that my plants are going to look like doilies, and see if we can get them through. Okay, I think I've powdered, put enough DE down for today. It's not supposed to rain until tomorrow, but I'll check on them every day. I am actually going to leave the row covers off these plants. The sunflowers are getting too tall, and the plants themselves are getting pretty big. I culled a few just to give the plants some space to grow, but honestly, I'm not optimistic. I'm going to do my best, but I'm not optimistic for a good harvest, because these beetles also eat the flowers, which reduces fruit production. So anyways, let's just say looking forward to next year, where we're gonna go away maybe for the summer and leave the garden unplanted for the most part, except for volunteers, mulch it really well, and give the pests a buffet break for the year, and that should reduce our pest population for the next coming years. But when you're trying to grow organic, you do your best. You're limited as to what you can do as far as even resources, but also time. And this year, I would say I definitely didn't spend enough time in the early parts of the summer in the garden, just busy doing other things, which is totally cool, totally fine. You just have to be able to let it go and be okay with the results and the decisions that you make. You do your best, and that's what growing food is all about. And like I said, I always keep in my back pocket the option to go to the farmers market, so to support local farmers in the area, which is just as great. I was actually talking to a grower last night, and he was saying if you don't want pests, you need to grow in a tunnel or a greenhouse. And so I don't want to mention that one to Brian, but definitely it's been on the radar. So maybe in the next couple of years, we'll end up getting a high tunnel to grow in, and reduce some of this pest pressure. But until then, I'm going to have fun doing what I do here. And actually, if you look at the garden from far away, it does look really good. So that's what I'll do from now on. And hey, if you need it to rain, just text me, message me, ask me to put down diatomaceous earth, and it'll rain. Today the forecast was for sun, no rain, and it's raining about half an hour after I put the diatomaceous earth down. Good morning. Quick update about the pest situation in the garden. So we still have a ton of striped cucumber beetles, but we have to stop using DE because the blossoms are starting to form and it will impact pollinators. The cool thing is that we are pretty much past the point where they could completely trash the plants or destroy the plants, because the plants are big enough now that we can basically just hand squish. We have to come out here at least once a day, if not twice a day, to make sure that we're hand squishing. But most of the plants are past that point, especially the squash. The cucumbers and melons are still meh, but they do have blossoms and they're setting fruit, so I can't use DE anymore. And so I've taken off the row covers to allow pollinators in, because I don't want to harm the pollinators. But when they're young and they don't have flowers, that's the best time to be using DE. Once the plants get established, they can basically fend for themselves. So, I'm hopeful that they're all going to make it. Here are the squash. So there's a mound, there's a mound. You can't really see the squash for the sunflowers, so I'm not really sure that was a good idea, but that's okay. My zucchini are actually one of the worst hit, and they're doing okay. I've got 2 mounds of zucchini here and here. And then I think it's acorn and butternut. But I did thin the plants as well today. So it's been a couple days since I last updated. I thinned the mounds because the plants are getting pretty big. So hopefully we can manage here. I might have to pull some of these sunflowers. I overplanted them and I think they're actually going to take over the bed and cast too much shade. So I'm going to have to revisit that as well. The cucumbers, they're slowly coming along. You can see here having to hand squish a lot. And then the melons are actually the worst off, I would say. So this one here is not looking too good. But the rest are kind of coming along. So I'm just going to hand squish in here for a bit. But hopefully they're going to pull through and we'll get some melons this year. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have an awesome day and we'll see you next time.